Welcome to part 6. This is it. The final chapter. I hope you've really enjoyed our journey together so far. You'll recall that in the previous chapter 5, we were finally introduced to the happy boy named Parker. The story begins when Alistair reveals he had a prophetic dream where Geigastand warns Parker and his father to change their names from Choriste and Rolander to Aemmon and Parker, and to keep their identities hidden. Years later, Parker grows up learning to fish and sail with his father and develops a deep love for the sea. On Parker's 9th birthday, his father surprises him with 2 kittens called Freeto and Doreeto. Many years later, when Parker was nearly 16 years old, tragedy struck when his father, Aemmon, sadly died in an accident on the fishing docks, leaving Parker all alone and filled with anger and grief. Later, while wandering the port, Parker finds and helps an injured boy named Ipinyun, who reveals that Aemmon saved his life. Geigastand then suddenly appears and reveals herself to Parker, just after he had selflessly helped an injured boy named Ipinyun. In the end, Geigastand shares with Parker an ancient prophecy, secrets of his past, and his destiny to come. Whoa, that was a lot. I sure hope you are ready for this incredible final chapter. Let's go. Chapter 6. Geigastand raised her hand, and a book magically materialized in her grasp. It was the very same old book that the sorceress had kept on her shelf, the book containing the story of Pirate Parker. In this book lies the secret key to making everything in the world right again, she said, her voice filled with a mix of mystery and urgency. Within its pages, a prophecy is written, a prophecy that foretells the fate of Pirate Parker and the destiny of our world. Geigastand moved Parker closer, her eyes glimmered with a profound sense of purpose, her voice filled with urgency and purpose. She opened the book, and the words came to life, revealing a prophecy that spoke of his true identity and the destiny that awaited him. As Geigastand explained in greater detail, Parker's eyes widened in astonishment. The prophecy speaks of a lost boy, she continued, her voice carrying an eerie echo. During his lifetime, this boy requires my help on 2 distinct traumatic life events. The first is after his mother dies, and the second is after his father dies. On both occasions, I, the wise sorceress Geigastand, am there to help and fulfill my role. First, I cleverly influence the queen with a spell of jealousy regarding the king's twin sister, Laro, so that she unknowingly sends her baby boy to safety in Lazarus. And, on the second event, after the passing of his father, I inform him of his true identity and as the Prince of Geigastand. As the prince, he is told he has the power and authority to help his starving and dying people. Revealed is a magical power, capable of reshaping the course of history itself. An ancient power that can shape destinies and save kingdoms. But it can only be unlocked by one who possesses a pure heart and unwavering determination. Geigastand paused intentionally and extended her hands to emphasize her words, and you, my dear Parker, you are that power. You are the Prince of Geigastand, but now that you know who you are, will you also choose to be the savior of Geigastand? This, my dear Parker, is your destiny. What shall you do? Parker stood there, frozen in place, his mind struggling to comprehend all that Geigastand had told him. His true identity and his role as the prince and savior of Geigastand felt like a huge burden. He felt a mix of fear, doubt, and uncertainty. As his breath caught in his throat, he whispered, "It's too much. I really don't know what to do." Parker, Geigastand began with a gentle voice, "I have watched over you from the moment you were born nearly 16 years ago. Your sweet mother and dear father loved you even before you entered this world. But the prophecy foresaw a tragic event, your mother's passing during childbirth. And, in his grief and madness, King Snakey, unable to have children of his own, took you away from your father, adopted you, and made you the Prince of Geigastand. However, to protect you, I cast a spell on the queen, making her jealous so that she would devise a plan to give you her magical ship, Ezra, and sail you to safety in Lazarus, far away from her and the king's reach. But there is more to your story. The prophecy also revealed that if you were to grow up good, kind, wise, and healthy, you would embrace your role as the savior and prince of Geigastand. Your people, starving and dying for many years because of King Snakey and Queen Sierra, need your help. You have the power to bring them hope and save your people, and save your kingdom. Parker listened intently as Geigastand revealed the details of the prophecy, and his true identity. His heart raced with a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had a responsibility now, knowing that he had the power and authority to help his people. With a determined voice, Parker replied, "I may be the Prince of Geigastand, but now that I know who I truly am, I choose to be the savior as well. I will use my pure heart and unwavering determination to unlock the ancient power, and shape the destiny of our kingdom. I will bring hope and save Geigastand from its struggles. This is my destiny, and I am ready to fulfill it." With a new understanding of who he truly was, Parker, the prince and savior of Geigastand, and his ship Ezra came up with the perfect plan. He had always felt a deep connection to the sea and a yearning to become a pirate, but not an ordinary pirate. He wanted to be like his father, someone who could help people and make a difference. "I want to be a different kind of pirate. I want to be a good pirate," Parker declared, his voice filled with determination. "Whether it is my destiny or not, I want to be like my father. I want to help people and even save them whenever I can. That's why I'm sailing back to Geigastand and to help and save my people from my evil aunt and uncle, King Snakey and Queen Sierra." After going over the details of Parker's plan with Geigastand and Ezra, Parker's new friend, Ipinyun, expressed his confusion at Parker. "You really don't look like a pirate. Don't pirates look and act all evil? And don't they have only one eye with an eye patch, or a hook for a hand? A wooden leg? And you don't even have a parrot either?" Parker smiled warmly at his friend's concerns. "I just really want to be a good pirate. A different kind of pirate who will bring joy, hope, and help to those in need. Besides, I don't need an eye patch, a hook, or a parrot to be a hero. I will be a hero in my own way, so why not join us?" As Parker and Ipinyun embarked upon their adventure and sailed closer to the shores of Geigastand, their hearts pounded with anticipation. They stood tall at the helm, the salty breeze in their faces. Parker had thought long and hard about how to make a lasting impression and bring about the positive change Geigastand so desperately needed. He decided to make his presence known by revealing his true identity to the people. It was time to unveil their plan, to spark a revolution of hope and unity for his island kingdom of Geigastand. "Parker," Ezra whispered, her voice filled with excitement, "we've come so far. The time has come to unleash my magical abilities and change the course of Geigaland's history." Parker nodded, his eyes gleaming with determination. "Yes, let us astound them all with a display they will never forget." As they slowly entered the port of Geigastand, the townspeople turned their heads, captivated by the joyful music Ezra was creating. Once they reached the pier, Parker raised his hands, summoning the magic Geigastand had given him. The sky crackled with energy as vibrant fireworks illuminated the night, painting the darkness with a kaleidoscope of colors. The booming explosions drew the attention of the villagers, nobles, and even the troubled old king and queen. It seemed like all of Geigastand had gathered in the port. A hushed silence fell over the crowd as time stood still, and they marveled at the breathtaking display in the sky. Then, with the help of Geigastand's magic, Parker's face appeared in the night sky, larger than life. His face and voice, filled with power and conviction, echoed across the kingdom. "Behold, my people of Geigastand. It is I, Rolander, your long-lost prince. I am the savior that was promised to you many years ago by the wise sorceress Geigastand. I have returned to bring about a new era of peace, prosperity, and unity. The people of the island kingdom of Digadigador will be happy and well cared for again, and your lives will be filled with joy and laughter once more. Gasps of astonishment and excitement rippled through the crowd as they beheld a living projection of their new prince and savior. The king and queen exchanged bewildered glances of disbelief, their eyes reflecting a mix of shame and awe. Parker's voice echoed through the air, outlining his plan with a confidence that gave hope to every heart. Behold, as he pointed down towards the shoreline. The sorceress Geigastand has one more surprise for you. Geigastand emerged from the seashore, her clothes glistening with water. She moved side to side ever so slowly through the crowd, capturing their attention with every graceful step. Reaching a small hill, she raised her hands high above her head, and with a swift motion, a grand building materialized before their eyes. The structure stood tall and majestic, blending seamlessly with the natural surroundings. Adorned with vibrant colors and intricate patterns, it had a welcoming entryway that beckoned everyone inside. The crowd stood in awe, their faces filled with wonder, as they marveled at the sight. And during their amazement, unnoticed by all, Geigastand vanished into thin air, her task complete, and never to be seen from again. Parker's voice boomed overhead, "I present to you, the House of Mac and Cheese, a place of abundant food and togetherness. Within its walls, we shall forge a kingdom where no one ever goes hungry and love reigns supreme." The crowd erupted into cheers, their voices mingling with the crackling fireworks. The aroma of freshly cooked mac and cheese filled the air, tempting and irresistible. Geigastand had created a haven, a place where hunger would be satisfied and hearts filled with hope again. Before Parker went ashore, Ezra's final thoughts echoed softly in Parker's mind, "I am proud of you. It is moment by moment that you, and you alone, have successfully fulfilled your destiny by the choices you've made and the chances you have taken. Love you always." Parker was moved by Ezra's words as he disembarked from the ship, his steps now filled with purpose more so than ever, as he led the way into the House of Mac and Cheese. Inside, the air was thick with the aroma of mac and cheese, and the room buzzed with excitement. The people of Digadigador flocked to the magical eatery, their plates filled to the brim with the comforting dish. Laughter and conversation filled the air, as the boundaries that once separated them dissolved into nothingness. King Snaky and Queen Sierra, their faces etched with guilt and shame, approached Parker with humility in their eyes. "Rolander, is it really you? We are so sorry for what we did to you," they admitted, their voices tinged with sincerity. And as they stood before the remaining citizens of Digadigador, their eyes filled with remorse and determination. "We have learned from our mistakes," King Snaky declared, his voice filled with sincerity. "Together, we will rebuild our kingdom and make amends for the pain we have caused." The crowd watched them closely, skepticism gradually giving way to hope as the king and queen outlined their plans for a brighter future. Parker regarded them both with compassion. "It is never too late to change, to choose a path of redemption," he replied. "In Lazarus, the land of second chances, my name was changed from Rolander to Parker, and to honor my father, I have chosen to keep the name Parker." Then Parker confirmed King Snake's words, "Yes, together, we will rebuild our kingdom and nurture the bonds that connect us all." And so, with all the mac and cheese flowing abundantly and the hearts of the people united, Digadigador transformed into a haven of harmony and prosperity. The king and queen, humbled by their past mistakes, became tireless advocates for their people, working side by side with Parker to mend the scars of the past. As the sun set over the renewed kingdom of Digadigador, Parker stood at the door of the House of Mac and Cheese, a symbol of hope and triumph. The people of the kingdom looked upon him with gratitude and praise, their voices rising in a chorus of celebration. And thus, the tale of Parker, the prince who became the savior of the kingdom of Geigastand, echoed throughout the ages. The kingdom thrived under his popular reign, forever cherishing the day when a young hero, named Pirate Parker, sailed back to his homeland on a magical ship, armed with a loving memory of his father, a pure heart, unwavering determination, and of course, his secret weapon, an endless and delicious supply of mac and cheese. The end of part 6. No, please wait. This is not the end, at least not quite yet. Please, sit back down and listen just a little bit longer, as we return to where everything in the story first began. Epilogue. On a bright afternoon summer day, as the birds chirped, the sorceress Geigastand sat quietly, hidden away in her little cottage. She sat in her favorite old rocking chair reading a book, but mostly she waited for the anticipated knock at the door. When she finally heard it, she muttered to herself, "Aha, well there it is." She got up and walked slowly to the door. As she reached for the door, it cracked and squeaked as it opened, letting in the bright sunlight and summer warmth. Taking another brief moment to gather herself, she wondered if she was truly ready for this moment. A voice greeted her as the door fully opened. "Good afternoon, Geigastand. It's taken me well over 18 years to finally find you after you disappeared on that glorious day in Geigastand." Geigastand's eyes lit up with happiness before looking at his face and replying joyfully, "I knew you would eventually find me here. It's so good to see you again. Won't you please come in, Parker, or do you want me to call you Pirate Parker now?" Parker gave her a sideways glance, followed by a big smile. "Parker is just fine." Geigastand motioned for both of them to sit at a small table carefully set for two. "You see, I knew you were coming, so I cooked up an extra large pot of mac and cheese. Do you still love mac and cheese, Parker? Can I serve you some?" Parker grinned at her and nodded in agreement. "Well then, Parker, what brings you all the way out here, and how did you find me?" asked Geigastand. "It wasn't easy, but Ezra helped, of course," Parker said with a happy smile. "She sends you her love and best wishes." Geigastand sighed with a gentle smile and thought warmly about the old friendship she had had with Ezra. Parker then blurted out, "You know, I have finally figured it out." "What do you mean? You asked me what brought me here." "Well, I am here to tell you that I have figured it all out," replied Parker. At that moment, Geigastand's heart stopped. She instantly knew what he meant. Her hands began shaking as she set down her spoon and nervously rested her hands in her lap. At first, her eyes welled up and then tears of joy started streaming down her rosy wrinkled cheeks. She was much older now, but no matter how much or how long she had hidden the truth, she knew, and now, Parker knew it as well. Parker pushed back his chair and stood next to her. Geigastand lowered her eyes and unsuccessfully tried to wipe away her tears. "It took me a while, but I figured it out and pieced everything together. Remember what you told me about my mother, Laro? About how she died during childbirth, and how you just so happened to be there? And that book you wrote in the prophecy about a lost boy. I never understood why all these things had happened to me, and why after all these years it still intrigued me. Also why you cared for me and my father the way you did. But now, I am pretty sure I know the truth. Laro was not only my mother, but surprisingly, she was also your daughter, was she not?" As she heard Laro's name, Geigastand cried uncontrollably while Parker immediately rested a gentle comforting hand upon her rounded shoulder. Parker stood patiently for her to regain some composure. Geigastand sniffled and then looked up at Parker with tears filling her eyes. "Yes, it's true. Please forgive me. My sweet Parker, I want you to know that I have loved you more than you can ever know. I have watched over you all your life from afar and from the shadows. I am so sorry. Even though you didn't know it at the time, I was always there with you in one form or another. Please forgive me because keeping you safe was truly what mattered to me the most, no matter what the personal cost was to me." Parker then helped her stand, and while holding her steady, he said, "I understand completely. This is the reason I traveled all this way to see you once more." Parker gently closed his eyes, and rested his head upon her slender shoulder. When he wrapped his arms around her, he could feel her shaking, but as he hugged her tightly, he softly whispered the words he had waited so long to say, "I love you, grandmother." The end once again. We really hope you enjoyed the adventure of Pirate Parker. What a sweet and satisfying ending that was. Did you see that coming? We were also surprised 3 times in the last chapter by Geigastand. 1. When we learned she put a jealous spell on Queen Sierra to save baby Rolander. 2. Under the direction of Pirate Parker, she created the House of Mac and Cheese to help the starving people of Digadigador. 3. When we finally learned that Lara was her daughter, and Pirate Parker's grandmother. What a story, what a journey, what an adventure we've shared together. Before we go, we just wanted to say, what an absolute honor and privilege it has been to write and create this story about Pirate Parker for you, a story we shared and talked about many times when we last visited. Until we meet again, farewell my dear sweet Pirate Parker. Love, Meme and Pep Pear.